Come on, United, let's smash up these melts, guys, and make amends for that absolute atrocity the other day. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another little stream for you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Had a few technical issues with this microphone. It didn't want to work for a while, but it is now, I think. Let us know if it is. Smash a 1 if it's working, guys. And thank you, everyone, for waiting patiently for us to get going. And thank you, everyone, for getting in here for the preview show, which is just a few hours before kickoff. We're going to get into the latest team news, predictions of lineups, score lines, any sort of news and important information that's coming out before the game we're going to get into. Thank you, Lucy, Mark, Johnny, Dublin Games, and everybody else for letting us know that, and everybody else who's in here. Thanks for joining us. Primot, Stay Clint, how you doing, lad? The Kate Cadet, Irfane Kafini, John Boy Cat, United Forever, Fire Up, Kelvin, everyone, thank you very much for getting in here for the stream. Do us a favour at the start of this show, smash that like button on it, give it a huge thumbs up. That will help this channel out. And also, if you're new to the show, then subscribe and get yourself subscribed and get yourself involved in the live chat. Good morning, Stay Gold, Josh Lee, Jamie, Mackie. How you doing there, boss? Sean Nettleton, Aidan Feeney, and everybody. We're going to get in there raw. Of course, we have a big Q&A at the end of this show like we always do, so stick around for that. But we're going to get into the game and all the latest information now. So, look, okay, yeah, nice one. There's loads of Scalcieri still putting the boot in, isn't there? Even though they've only won one pigging Premier League title since its inception in '92. Giving it the big one because they beat us 7-0. Oh, congratulations, Scalcieris. You've got yourself the old We Beat United 7-0 trophy this season. And you're going to get knocked out next week in the Champions League against Real Madrid. And I, for one, I'm going to be loving it when that happens. That's right. I'm going to be doing well, I'm not, but I would like to do a watch along and wear a Real Madrid shirt. You know, that's how much I despise Liverpool fans right now. I'm not going to do that, but we need to put this behind us, don't we? That was a horrendous loss the other day. We don't want to keep dwelling on it. We need to just forget about it now. And a good way to forget about it would be to absolutely blitz Real Betis tonight in the first leg of the Europa League tie in the round of 16 and completely dominate them and get a really good positive result and victory. That's what we need, you know, a nice comfortable result, a nice comfortable win, 3-0, 2-0, something like that would be lovely. Let's just start things off with a cheeky little prediction. How are you feeling about it? Because we have just lost 7-0 to Liverpool, and of course our form before that was pretty sensational for a few months. Kept winning games, coming back in games and getting the victories in those games. But that big game against Liverpool, we did absolutely melt in the second half. It was an absolute travesty. So there is big concerns, but I'm not too worried about the overall form of the team or the mentality of the team or how good of a team we actually are. I put that down to being a complete freak occurrence. So in terms of the predictions for tonight's game, I think they'll be a good side, to be fair. If you actually look where they're at in La Liga, they've got that bloody Dracula wannabe Manuel Pellegrini in charge, who we know all about, to be fair. And he is a good coach. And they are doing well this season. So I think we're going to win 2-1 tonight, guys. That's my prediction. I feel like we probably will concede. I think we will rotate a little bit at the back there. And ultimately, it'll be a difficult game, especially on the back of that last result. You know, there's going to be a point to prove, but it's not always easy to prove that point, especially when you've had a big blow to the confidence. We're looking for a big reaction, but are we going to get that? We'll see. I think we'll win the game, but I don't think it's going to be a trouncing like everybody else thinks, really. Let's have a look at the live chat, see what you legends are saying at the start of the show. Lucy McNicholas is saying 3-1 to United. Gungshi, what's going on, you legend? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for getting in, dude. He says 3-0 to United. Love that prediction. 3-1 says Maria Steer. Primot's going the same as me. 2-1 to United. 3-2 says John Boy Cat. 3-0 says Stay Gold. 4-0 says Josh Lee. Sean Nettleton's going 2-0 as well. Dublin Games is going 3-0 to United. Johnny's going 4-0. Backlash incoming. Well, that's what we hope for, isn't it? We want to see like a proper reaction. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction, which means we're going to win 7-0 tonight, guys. That's what that means. Nigel says 4-0. Kelvin says 2-0. 2-0 says Lynette Giggs. How you doing there, Lynette? Lord PlayStation's going 3-1 to United. Gungshi's loins are simmering enthusiastically. A 3-0 win could be on the cards. I like your style there, Don Gungshi. Ricardo agrees with you as well. Yeah, so, and Mark Nurse, Dynamic Melon's going 2-0, Wessex Mercy's going 3-1, United Forever as well. thank you everyone for getting your predictions in there. They're all positive and nice. I like your predictions. Yeah, so, I mean, do I share that level of optimism? No, I don't. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be a tough game. I really do. So we know what it's like playing these Spanish sides. They're always quite difficult. I know we've mugged off Barcelona over the last 2 legs, but we don't generally, over the years recently, do that well against Spanish sides. They seem to dump us out the cup quite often. They're good technical sides. They keep hold of the ball well. Good passing teams, etc. So it's not going to be easy. We are the home side, and we are on the back of a game against Liverpool, which was an embarrassment, which means that we should see some sort of positive reaction. But we have to rotate a little bit, I think. I'm not so sure if we're going to see the tried and tested Erik ten Hag starting 11, that we've seen most of the time, because, well, we kind of do need to rotate a little bit. We've got another game coming up Sunday. In terms of the team news, let's get into the team news real quick. So we've still got a few players out. Ten Hag confirmed that Marcel Sabitzer will be out of the team. He won't be featuring this game, which is a big loss in our midfield, really, because let's face it, Casemiro and Fred didn't cover themselves in any glory in the last game. Casemiro's an absolute Rolls Royce of a player. We've got no worries about him. But there are some reports to say that he's doubtful for the game. I still think that he'll play, because if you've not got Sabitzer and you've not got Eriksen, because Eriksen's still out injured long term, then what does that leave you with? We're not going to be starting a European night game with McTominay and Fred in the centre of the park, for Pete's sake. So we have to have Casemiro playing, even if he's got one leg. So Casemiro has to play, in my opinion, although he is reportedly doubtful for the fixture. I don't think he will be doubtful, because he's just such an important player for us. He is on a suspension as well. Like, if he gets one more yellow card in a European tie, then he's going to be out for a game. So that's something to consider as well. But Casemiro, I think, has got to start alongside probably, Fred in the midfield. But in terms of injuries, we've got Anthony Martial out, confirmed as not featuring in the game. Well, very doubtful anyway, very doubtful. So yesterday in the press conference, Erik ten Hag basically said that, Martial is out. He's revealed that he said this. He says, we have a strong programme. I think we're quite good. The only disappointment is Marcel Sabitzer is not available, as well as Anthony Martial. So it's likely that Martial will be out, as well as Marcel Sabitzer. He said Anthony Martial's back on the pitch, so we will see. So he's not totally ruled it out. But he said, for the rest, everyone is available, and we are ready for the game. So just a little bit of team news from Erik ten Hag yesterday. He did confirm that there will be no Sabitzer, and he's basically alluded to the fact that there will be no Tony Martial either. Not bothered about seeing a Tony Martial featuring in the game anyway. He's inconsistent. I want him to come back and play a role in this squad for the rest of the season, but we want him to be 100%. We don't want him to just come back in there, on the back of being out for a while, not 100%, struggling, and also maybe likely to get injured again as well, because he is a complete injury-prone melter. So, no, I don't think we're going to see Tony Martial in the game, but he is back training, which is good news. It's good news. We need as many people as we can get up there. I still think once Tony's back and fit, he gets in there ahead of the likes of, Weghorst. He's got to. He's a good technical player. He's just inconsistent and an injury-prone melter. So that's where we're at with Tony. But, he's back in training, so that's good news. Hopefully we see him get back into the team very, very soon. In terms of the team lineup, let's have a look at it then, folks. By the way, everyone who's getting in here, thank you very, very much for joining us today. Big Bear, how you doing, you legend? The Hoop Man, Straight Out Baller, how you doing? Raja, Ezio Auditor, and everybody who I've not mentioned, thank you for joining us for today's show. Hit that like button, smash the thumbs up if you're just joining us. Help us get to 100 likes on this stream. And also, I've pinned the tweet at the top of the live chat up there somewhere. Go give us a retweet on Twitter if you're on Twitter. That helps the channel out and helps spread the word of the pig. So get yourself over there. Give us a follow on Twitter at Flying Pig United. Also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. All those places. So give us a follow and also give us a share around it. Every little helps. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you. So let's talk about the predicted lineup here. Now, it's not the easiest lineup to predict for this game because we do have a couple of players, as I mentioned, that are doubtful. There's reports that maybe Casemiro's doubtful, Victor Lindelof is doubtful. Like I've mentioned previously, Casemiro is too important of a player not to play. I think you've got to play him, and then you can sub him off later in the game if he's not 100%, etc. But he's just too important for us. We know there's 4 players that are injured long-term in this club. Well, not long-term, but Tony's definitely out, it seems. Of course, we've mentioned Sabitzer, but Christian Eriksen is still out and Donny van der Beek's still out. So the midfield is lacking in the depth. If we rotate from the previous game at all, we're going to be having Shotty McShotbag McTominay in there alongside Fred. And that sounds absolutely horrendous for any game of top-level European football. So let's talk about the back line as well. Terrible in the last game, wasn't it? Rafael Varane, to me, is literally our best defender since Rio and Vidic. He's incredible, and he's a seasoned professional and a seasoned winner, and he's just very, very much important for us. But I think that game the last time out was proof that he's not a 2-game-a-week man. He's a 1-game-a-week man. Otherwise, you force him to maybe play not 100%. You maybe are asking for injuries because he's that kind of player. He's an injury-prone player. And when he's 100%, there's not anybody I'd rather have in there. But is he 100% right now? I'm not so sure. Which is why I think maybe Erik ten Hag rotates a little bit and he puts in a human slab. I'm calling it right now. I'm not saying this is what I want. I don't want this. But I'm saying it. I think that maybe he saves Varane for the game at the weekend and we put in a human slab. So I think that Ten Hag does not play Rafael Varane tonight. I think he gives him a rest based on the fact that he looked ropey in the last game. We don't want to overexert him. He wasn't 100%. He actually put in a piss-poor performance by his standards, by anyone's standards, by Harry Maguire's standards. He put in a piss-poor performance. So we don't want to, we don't want to overuse him at the moment. That's the problem with him. You've got to manage him wisely. Otherwise, you end up with an injury-prone Melter or somebody that's not 100%. So I personally am going for a different lineup tonight in the back line. Also, Luke Shaw maybe will be rotated out the team. So this is my predicted lineup over here, guys. Let's have a little look. So I've gone for De Gea in goal. This is what I think Ten Hag's going to select, not what I want. But this is what I think Ten Hag's going to select. So we've got De Gea in goal. Malacia comes in for Luke Shaw, the left-back position. Martinez, the butcher, starts alongside Slabo. That is my prediction. It's a horrible prediction. It's not a good prediction, guys, but that's what I think. I've got a burning in my loins to say that we're going to put Easter Island head in there. So Martinez and Maguire start centre-back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka comes back into the fold. Dalot looked ropey as fuck in the last game. Wan-Bissaka, on these European nights, defensive guile. He has been very, very decent for Erik ten Hag the last few months, so it does make sense. Ezio Auditor, thank you for being a member for 6 months, you legend. Any updates on United Say? We can get into that a bit later, Ezio. Thank you so much for being a member of the channel for 6 months, you legend. Let's get a #6 in there for Ezio. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you supporting the show. Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming back into the side, then I believe that he will, do a good job for us. He has been solid recently. The midfield, I've gone with Casemiro and Fred. Now, I don't really like Fred starting big European nights or many games against top opposition. I think he's a good squad player, as I've mentioned many times before. Rotate, certain games, come in, play the last half an hour and run at people and press them and that kind of thing. He's not the most technical. Do I trust him to really be the guy who's making things happen for us in midfield? Not really. But who else have we got? Donny's out, Sabitzer's out, Eriksen's out. That means that the only real options we've got would be to play a youth player or to play Scotty McTominay. And it's the lesser of two evils as far as I'm concerned with Fred. We've got to play Fred because he's just better than Scotty McTominay. It's not that he's a fantastic player or anything, but the one thing I would say about Fred is sometimes he puts in absolutely fantastic performances, but 50% of the time he puts in truly gashtastic performances. So he is that kind of player. He's very inconsistent. Let's just hope that we get a really good display from him tonight if he does play. But Casemiro has to start, doesn't he? Casemiro has to start. Sorry, I've got ahead of myself, guys. Let's ask the live chat here real quick. Who do you think is going to play in the centre-back positions? Let's have a little vote tonight. Will it be the tried and tested pairing of the Butcher, Martinez and Varane? Or will Erik ten Hag rotate a little bit, give a player a rest? Or maybe we'll see 2 players rested and Lindelof and Maguire start. Very much doubt that. But let's hear your predictions for the centre-backs tonight. I do think we will see Maguire. I've got some horrible burning sensation going on that suggests that's the case. So I'm going Martinez and Maguire. Let us know what you think. Martinez and Lindelof, says TJ. Well, isn't Lindelof harbouring some sort of a little knock? That's what I've heard. It's possible. Why not Lindelof and And Maguire, says Sean Ettleton. Well, why Lindelof and Maguire, though? I know what you're saying. Why not Lindelof and Maguire? But the answer for that is, that's tried and tested shite. You know what I mean? In terms of rotation, yes, it's an option, isn't it? But it's the same kind of option as McTominay and Fred in the centre of the park. It is an option, but it's not a very good option because they're gash. And they're proven to be gash. TJ says Martinez and Lindelof. Will be Martinez and Lindelof, says Rajat. Lindelof and Martinez, says Elliot Mandula. Maguire and Varane, says Dave the Gamer. Martinez and Lindelof, says Lynette Giggs. Martinez and the Slab, says David Parry. Shaw and Varane, says Primot. Primot's going for a different vibe. Fair play. I just got a feeling Varane will be rested for the weekend game because he didn't look 100% in the last game. I don't think you can play him all that often. Otherwise, he seems to suffer a little bit in terms of, injury proneness, but also that performance against Liverpool was shambolic. And I don't necessarily think it's just down to him having a pure shit day at the office. I think he's just literally not 100% fit in that game as well. Lindelof and Mag, says Rajon. You think Maguire will start, says Leanne Reeson. Unfortunately, yeah, that's what I'm feeling as well. Vutinator says we got 83 likes. Thank you everyone for hitting the like button. Continue to smash the like button if you're just joining us and help us get to 100. Nice one. Maria Steers going Martinez and Maguire. Bit of M&M action. Yeah, bit of M&M action. You know, the only problem with M&Ms is they're really nice, aren't they? They're tasty. They've got a sugar-coated shell. It's all nice and everything. But you know what? They melt. They melt in your hand. They melt in your hand and they leave a stain on your hand. You know? That's the only problem with M&Ms. So if M&Ms are going to start, i.e. Martinez and Maguire, let's hope they don't fucking melt. Because Maguire has got that in his locker to be a complete melter. And also, Martinez in the last game looked shambolic. Let's face it, he's been sensational for us. We're not going to write off Martinez and Varane for one gash result against Liverpool. That was a freak day. But it was worrying. Those guys, when they do come back into the games, they need to perform really well. So I'm hoping Martinez can do very, very well. The Hoopman says M&M melters confirmed. That's the problem, isn't it? So let's hope that they don't melt at all. Okay, so thank you for your predictions for the centre-backs. Let's have a look at the midfield. As I said, Casemiro and Fred, I believe, are going to be the ones that start in there. Otherwise, it's what? Fred and McTominay. It's a horrible, horrible duo, whichever way you look at it, really, because we are weakened. If we had everybody available, it would, of course, be Casemiro and Eriksen starting. Eriksen's out long-term. If Sabitzer was available, he'd be starting alongside Casemiro. But let's ask the live chat, who do you think will start tonight in the two midfield positions? I have selected Casemiro and Fred based on who's available and the fact that McTominay's an absolute fucking championship player. So I would go with Casemiro and Fred if I was Erik ten Hag. What do you guys think? Ezio agrees. Fred and McTominay says must play. You could see it. If Casemiro's not 100%, you could see it. And he's one yellow card away from European suspension. Phil Jones, centre mid, says TJ. Casemiro and McTominay, says Butterpants. Could be, could well be. So McTominay's combative, he's physical, he's strong. But the only problem with him is he's technically a smurf. He's not good enough out there for us. He's not going to create you that much. He's a bit of a marauder, like he can get forward just with his physicality and cause some issues. But crikey, I mean, I can count on one hand the times that he's really balled out in games for United over the last couple of years. He's pretty gash-tastic consistently, so don't really fancy him starting. He's not going to give us a creative spark. Casemiro in and a youth player, says Lynette Giggs. TJ agrees. Andy says, Pig, why can't we play Sabitzer? He was in full training yesterday, looked sharp, also mental, surprisingly. Okay, so I don't think he was actually, Bud. So Erik ten Hag has confirmed that Sabitzer is out, Bud. So he has said that, he's not available to play in the game for whatever reason. He's obviously harbouring some sort of knock. So it's very unlikely, Bud, that we'll see Sabitzer, because literally this is what he had to say. He said, we have a strong programme, but I think we're quite good. The only disappointment is Marcel Sabitzer is not available, as well as Anthony Martial. So for whatever reason, Sabitzer's definitely not going to be playing. Well, so yeah, so that's the reason we can't play him, really. Ten Hag said so. Sin Games, how you doing there, boss? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for getting in here with a love heart, bro. So that's where we're at, really, with the midfield. It's a worry, it's a concern, but any team with Casemiro in there, should be absolutely fine. We don't have to play Casemiro the whole game. Hopefully what we see is United start really positively and just drub up Real Betis at home and get a good 2-0 lead or something going into the second half. And then in the 65th minute, you can rotate a little bit and save some legs and maybe bring somebody else on for Casemiro. That's the idea. So we're not expecting Cassie to go out there and play the full 90 minutes. We need him fresh for the weekend as well. But certainly, he's available. You've got to play him, even if he's not 100%, because he's just such an important player for us. Over at the top of the pitch now, this is where it gets interesting. So I think we will rotate a bit. I think we've got to. If you look at the performances last time out, and just recently in general from some of the players, like Antony has been pretty bang average. I know sometimes he's absolutely sensational. Sometimes he does a lot, but God almighty, I was watching clips back of his performance against Liverpool. Just, pops up on your timeline. People have highlighted some of the problems in Antony's play. And just him not covering down the right-hand side, laziness, and also, what's not being effective at all creatively. Like, he's very one-dimensional. When that one dimension is on form, when he's performing well, it works. But he is very one-dimensional, and it just leaves you a little bit lacking in certain areas. Like, he's not great at taking it down the line and getting balls in. He can cut in and he can have a shot, and he's got skills and he's got vision, and he can do some stuff, but he's not out-and-out like classic type winger at all. He's like an inside forward who's going to cut in and try and shoot and create problems that way, which is fine, but it is one-dimensional and it doesn't really impress me that much. He needs to add different facets to his game. He needs to have facets like a diamond, loads of different sides to him. Unfortunately, he's like a window pane right now. He's got one fucking side and he can see right through it. You know what I mean? He needs to add those facets to his game. He's young and he's coachable, and Ten Hag loves him and Ten Hag likes him and wants him and paid a shitload of cash to get him in the team. So I'm sure he will develop him well and he will put a lot of time and energy into developing Antony. But he's a window pane at the moment, and he's causing United a bit of pain, man. And we need to he needs moulding, doesn't he? It's like Cristiano Ronaldo when he was a young whippersnapper coming into the team. Bit too greedy, didn't know exactly when to pass, he's like keeping hold of it too much, doing too many tricks, all this sort of stuff. But if you actually coach him to be more direct, more, fundamentally sound in terms of like helping the team out and working hard for the team, then he will be a good player, I think. So I don't even think we need to worry and panic too much about him. But at the same time, I think he should be dropped. So Antony out. Hey, Berber, how you doing, you legend? Thank you for getting in the stream. I hope you're doing well, bro. It's Sheikh bin Berber. Shake that ass. How you doing, Berber? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. He's been a member for 38 months. That's absolutely ridiculous, bro. You're almost at 40 months a member on the channel. Thank you so much for supporting this channel for 40 months, man, almost. That's insane. 38. Let's get a 38 in the live chat. Crikey, man. 38 months a member. Thank you, Berber. He says like and subscribe. I hope you're doing well today. And he says like and subscribe, everyone. Do as he says, not as he does. And smash that like and subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. And also, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate you, Berber. Thank you very, very much for being a legend. So just to get back into the team lineup here. Thank you, Berber. I'm going to say Antony out of the team tonight because of his recent performances not being inspirational enough, one-dimensional, etc. He needs a bit of a reality check, and he needs to be coached into a better player, to be fair. He is young, and I think that will come. But Sancho in, we haven't seen much from Sancho recently. Don't really know why. But Sancho, okay, probably because he's not looked exactly amazing. But he has had some decent cameo performances since coming back into the team. And I would definitely give him a nod ahead of the likes of Antony, who's sort of proven to be quite disappointed recently. So for that reason, I think Sancho starts. Over on the other side, crikey, well, we saw what Ten Hag was doing last game with Bruno Fernandez over there. Still don't understand that. Like, I know Ten Hag is a bit of a tactical genius. He takes gambles, he takes some risks sometimes, and sometimes they pay off. Like, we have seen Bruno be very effective on the right-hand side of the pitch recently for us in a couple of games, and he's done well. And I think it unsettles the opposition, and it just, like, confuses the opposition, and it gives us a different dynamic. He has actually got fantastic passing. Like, Bruno on the right can pass with his right boot and get you good balls into the box. Antony, not so much, because he's a left-footed, one-dimensional sort of player. So it is different. It gives you a totally different dynamic. But we all know that Bruno Fernandez's best position is in the hole. Number 10, CAM, creating in a goal-scoring central position as well. He can score, he can create. and he's a type of player, he's just super, his work rate is very, very high, and he's all over the place. His energy is very, very high, and I think he impacts games better in that position. Not in the, not in every game. We have seen, like, the last game, he didn't have that same level of commitment or passion going into the second half because, I don't know, he just seemed to lose it mentally, didn't he? It was very worrying. But anyway, we're on the left side of the pitch to chat now. So I think Alejandro Garnacho has to come in on that left-hand side. You could see Rashford play there, of course, and Weghorst, feature again still. But Weghorst has been Smegworst recently, man. Not overly enamoured by that guy still. So I would say, Garnacho, unleash the kid. This kid is somebody who is, he plays without fear. He's always creative. He runs at the opposition defence and causes problems pretty much every time you see him. He is young, but he should be unleashed in tonight's game. Smash a 1 if you agree with me that Alejandro Garnacho must start tonight. Even though he's a young lad, he's got to start tonight, man. What's the other options? The players we've seen play out there that Ten Hag has shoehorned in haven't done well. Smash a 1 if you agree, smash a 2 if you disagree, and you think Garnacho should not be starting. Let us know. But I think you've got to see a bit of cheeky Alejandro action in there because, well, he's too good not to play. He's too good not to play right now, and everybody else hasn't exactly been impressive in the last game. Hey there, JPC Booster. I'm doing all good. Thank you for getting in here from South Africa. Thank you very much. Lots of people getting the ones in here. Lots of people saying 1 that he should start. Thank you, guys. Berber says 1, United forever. Kelvin. Yeah, Garnacho makes sense starting on that left-hand side. Okay, so that brings us on to the central attacking midfield, which is, I think you've got to put Bruno Fernandez there. Now, a lot of people may say drop him. He's been shite in the last game. His performance and his mentality wearing the captain's armband was an absolute disgrace and a nonsense. Maybe that's true, and Roy Keane would be throwing punches at him if he was on his team. He wouldn't let him on the coach, and that's true. But also, he has been a very committed, passionate player for us for a long time. And I don't know if you could just chuck him under the bus. Roy Keane would, but I don't know if you could just chuck him under the bus for one bad half. It was a horrendous half, though, and it's not just the performance that's the concern. It was sort of like the commitment and the leadership qualities on display. Like, if you're in the trenches and you're losing 4, 5, 6-0 to Liverpool, you can't just fall down. You can't just give up. You can't throw your hands in the air and gesticulate or ask to be subbed off or any of this business. You've got to be the one that is rallying the troops as the leader of Manchester United and to try and bring that level of deficit down, to try and fight back, to show some sort of level of courage and passion to fight for your team. And he didn't really do that at all, in all fairness. I was very disappointed with Bruno in the last game, but I was disappointed with everybody. I was disappointed with everybody in the team. So, just on that very quickly, Erik Ten Hag has been speaking about it beforehand, asked about Bruno Fernandez and his importance to the side and what's going on with him, etc. Because that performance from Bruno against Liverpool was pretty despicable, wasn't it? So, this is what he's been talking about. He says, yes, definitely, when he was asked whether Bruno Fernandes would continue to wear the armband for Man United, he said, I think he is playing a brilliant season, which I think is reasonably true. I mean, he was a bit inconsistent early doors in the season, but recently, post-World Cup, I think he's really knuckled down, and he has, there was no question in my mind about his commitment to Manchester United before that Liverpool game. He said he occupies a really important role, which is why we're in the position we are, because he's giving energy to the team. He's not only running a lot and in the highest intensity, but also in the right way, in the right direction, and he is pointing and coaching players. I mean, he's always seemingly had the passion for the job. That's what I've always thought before that second half of that Liverpool game. He added, he's an inspiration for the whole team, but no one is perfect. Everyone has his mistakes, and everyone has to learn. I have to learn, and he will learn as well because he's intelligent. Well, I hope Ten Hag's learned not to play Bruno Fernandes on that left side of the pitch, and I hope Bruno's learned that no matter the scoreline, no matter the game, no matter if you're losing 3-0, 5-0, 10-0, it doesn't matter. You've got to have that same level of passion, even more passion if you're losing, to try and fight back into the team. So hopefully he has learned from that. But he says, I have to learn, and he has to learn as well because he's intelligent. So I am really happy to have Bruno Fernandes in my team, and I'm really happy that Bruno Fernandes, if Harry is not on the pitch, is our captain, which further alludes to the fact that we might see Slabby Maguire come in with the armband. Would I take the armband off of Bruno for this one game to prove a point if Maguire starts? I mean, yes, I would, to be fair. I would, because I think I'm not saying Maguire's a better captain or a better player, but he does need a little bit of a kick up the arse, doesn't he, Bruno Fernandez, after that second half? He's not completely devoid of criticism just because most of the time he's really committed. He let us down in that second half. He needs to kick up the arse. Let's ask the live chat, though, guys. Should Bruno Fernandez be captain for the game tonight against Real Betis? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. I'm leaning towards the no, just to prove a point. Should he then be captain next time around? Yeah, he probably should, because, you know, he has been very good for us and he has been committed. If he shows commitment again, you know, he's always shown leadership qualities until that Liverpool game. But everybody needs a reality check every now and then. Yes, says the Vutinator. Yes, says Fire Ghost Boys and Dave Perry. No, says Ezio Auditor and Tactics Gaming and Sonic Asylum. Yes, says United Rules and Leanne Reeson. No, says Must Play and Orlando Arellano. Too Petulant. Rajon says yes. Yes, says Lynette and Andre. No, says Andy. You'd sell Bruno, says IQ Insane. I can see where you get your name from, bud. I mean, look, he had one half of football where he's let his head go, and you're prepared to get rid of one of our best players over the last 3 seasons. He has been. If you actually look at his statistics, he's a world-class player in terms of assists and goals. He is actually a world-class player. So I think it would be foolish to let a player go just based on one half of football. But, I mean, his performance was concerning. Must Play says he's not captain material. Always thought that he was, but that was a big red flag in that Liverpool game. Me personally, we've talked about this recently. In terms of who's a better candidate for captaincy, Bruno is a good candidate for captain, but that highlighted some of the problems in his personality maybe in that game. You want somebody who's got the fire in their belly, no matter the scoreline or the game, to try and fight 100% all the time and rally the troops. And he didn't display that in that Liverpool game, sadly. So for me, I've said this before, but I'm not so sure if it'll be this season. But I do think Casemiro would be a good captain. Maybe he's got to work on his English a little bit over the next 6 months for the start of next season. Maybe, you know, there's other opportunities in the team for captain like Varane or David De Gea. You know, these guys probably deserve the captaincy as well, and they're good leaders. But I like the midfielder. I like a midfielder to be captain. Casemiro seems to have that leadership. He has that ability to just be consistent. That's important. And he's got that dog in him as well. You know, he's got that lion heart. He likes to battle. He's not afraid to get stuck in. He leads by example. I just think he's a born leader. He might have only just come into Manchester United, but I do think Cassie's a better candidate captain going forward just because, well, he's a super experienced, super seasoned winner and he's got the right mentality right down to the ground. Whereas Bruno has just exposed himself maybe to be, well, a little bit of a fair weather player maybe. When it's not all going your way or you're asked to do a slightly different role in the team maybe, he let his head go. His head went in that game against Liverpool, no doubt. So for me, going forward, I'd give it to Casemiro. Let's see what you guys say. Who's your United captain for next season? You give it to Casemiro, says Iceman. Anyone but Bruno, says Ricotta Diaz. We need Roy Kent, says I Am Truth. What's up, T-Mill? How you doing, bud? Yeah, goalkeeper, not a captain. Well, okay, counter debate. I feel you. Go and ask that to Iker Casillas, mate. You know what I mean? Go and ask Iker Casillas whether or not he was a good captain or not. Because he was a very good captain. Like, he captained Spain to the 2010 World Cup victory, didn't he? So it can be done. But I actually agree with you. I don't like goalkeepers being captains. I like your captain to be a vocal person in the team who's, you know, in the heart of the play. It's not good for your captain to be stuck in the goal. I agree with you, though. De Gea says Kate Cadet. TJ says Bruno. Rashford says Ricotta Diaz. Varane says Andy. Good afternoon there, Cough Punk. Hope you're doing well, bud. Bruno captain says Rajat. He's sticking with Bruno. Bruno or De Gea says TJ. Rashford says Tactics Gaming. Interesting. So Rashford's Manc born and bred. He is growing into like having that mantle in the team of being like one of the most important players. In fact, this season he's been our match winner. So interesting, but you know, there's older, more experienced players at the moment. I could certainly see Rashford maybe one day taking that role, but he's like 5th or 6th or 7th on the list for me right now. Just based on experience and sort of grit and determination alone and that kind of thing. I think you've got to look at some of the other candidates ahead of Rashi. But Rashford is a good shout, though, because, you know, he's been super committed for us this season. Just on the whole Bruno thing as well. Rashford did the presser along with Eric Ten Hag, and Rashford was asked about, you know, whether or not he likes playing with Bruno Fernandez, essentially. And he said he absolutely loves playing with Bruno Fernandez as an attacking player. You know, he gets a lot of chances created for him by Bruno Fernandez. His energy, his running, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've never questioned Bruno Fernandez's energy or effort levels ever before. You can question some of his performances, but I never questioned any of his energy or his effort before that Liverpool game. That second half was atrocious from the lad, but I never questioned it before that game. So to me, let's just put it down to a one-off blip, a mental melt job from Bruno Fernandes basically in that particular one game. And you've got to look around at all the other players in the team as well who are sort of giving up, who are not giving it their all. Like I mentioned, Anthony, looked at some videos of some of the performances of individuals in that game since. And Anthony was not tracking back like he should down that right-hand side. He's not putting in the work, just like a lot of the players didn't. They let their heads go. They've given up in that game. They're fourth. When the fourth goal goes in, they just seem to shrivel up, man. So that's... So that's my concern is, like, you know, you just got to put it down to one game, hopefully, and hope that never happens again. If it does, then yeah, Bruno Fernandes shouldn't be anywhere near the captaincy. If he can't compete and can't, you know, like, put in that level of performance no matter the scoreline, and not even about the performance, actually. It's just about the example that you're setting. You've got to be fighting tooth and nail for every ball, every 50-50. Chasing back, you know, not just letting people skip past you, etc. So that's my problem with Bruno's performance against Liverpool, but I don't really have much of an issue with his overall performances beforehand. So I would actually not give him the armband for tonight's game just to prove a point, but then for the rest of the season, he's probably a better candidate still than most because, well, he's always going to be playing in the games, he's always fit and available more often than not, he's always full-blooded and passionate apart from that Liverpool game. So for me, Bruno Fernandes starts, but would I give him the armband? I mean, if Maguire's not playing, then yes, he's going to get the armband, isn't he? But if Maguire plays, which I think he will, for some unknown reason, then I think we'll give the armband to Slabby Maguire for one game, which in itself is despicable. But there you go. Bruno Fernandes starts, I think. And then just finally, up the top of the pitch, guys, Marcus Rashford as striker. That's what I'm going for. So, yeah, okay, it's not been 100% perfect in certain games recently, but he has been the man to score 25 goals this season for us. He's got an eye for goal. We didn't get a lot of chances in that Liverpool game. Rashford had like one good chance, really. Maybe two, actually. One came off his studs, and then he rounded Alisson, didn't he? And he hit the post with his really wide-angle effort. Like, he did have a couple of chances, but other than that, feeding off scraps, man. Feeding off absolute scraps because the team fundamentally was shite. We lost every battle on the pitch. We lost the midfield battle totally. And he barely had any chances at the top of the pitch. He's the only player actually in that Liverpool game that I think gets a higher rating than 2 out of 10. And he's only got a 3 or a 4 out of 10. But the reason for that is, well, you know, he's tried to do with what he's actually got. And he didn't get very much in terms of service or anything, or even Man United getting forward at all in that second half and causing any problems at all for Liverpool. So I don't blame Rashford at all for that performance. He's one of the few players that I think couldn't have really done anything else than what he did in that game. It's not down to Rashford why we let the heads go or why we performed really badly in that game. He just didn't get the ball and we were overrun in that second half. So to me, Rashford does make a good candidate for striker because of his goal-scoring form. Wout Weghorst is another option. We know Tony Martial's likely to be unavailable for the game based on what Ten Hag said yesterday. But Wout Weghorst is an option, isn't he? We've seen him used at number 10. He's an option at striker. But I agree with what Paul Scholes said after the last game. I think he's a decent utility player for us. He's a decent backup player for half a season. But he's just not technically good enough to be a Manchester United player. When you look around at all the other top teams and the strikers they've got, whether it be Haaland or whoever, you know, he's just not even anywhere near the same level. That's why Ten Hag has been playing him not as striker. He's been playing him in the hole. He's been playing him, you know, to try and run around and use his physicality to cause opposition's defences problems. He has had some good games. He was good in the League Cup final, really good. He has had some good games. It's not all bad from Wout Weghorst. Problem is, when you're coming up against good teams, though, he's just a big, strong runner of a presser-type man for us. He's not a proven goal scorer or somebody that's clinical in front of goal or somebody that you can trust to dispatch the ball into the back of the net when he gets a chance. He's more often than not going to fluff it, I reckon. So, for that reason, I've gone with Marcus Rashford at the top. I think Ten Hag will choose him because he's in a hot vein of form goal scoring wise. Weghorst can always come on a bit later in the game and we can use him as an impact player. And he's a good impact player, to be fair, because he's big, he's strong, he's tall. If you need to change your dynamic a little bit and play some balls into the box, maybe look for aerial balls in the air, I should say, to, try and get his head on it and bring the others into play or get headed chances, then he's a good option. He's a good option. But from a starting point of view, creatively, not good enough. Offensively, in terms of goal scoring, not good enough. He's just a big presser, a big Harry Maguire up top, a big defender in the opposition half. That's all he really is to me. So for me, it's nothing, no slight on him. He's just not quite good enough for United. And we've got him based on the fact that we needed a body. We needed a body to come in January. We weren't prepared to go and pay for a Victor Osimhen or something like that. So we just cheaped out and got Weghorst. So anyway, let's see what you guys are saying, though. At striker, who should we play? Because that is a hot talking point. Rashford could easily play on the left wing. Just for the record, I believe Rashford's best position is left wing. That's where he's most effective. That's where he creates and scores and runs at opposition defences and gets more space. He's not a natural number 9 at all, I don't think. He's a natural winger. Natural left winger, I should say. He's a goal scorer, but I think he's best on that left wing. But just for what we need right now, I think he's better up top. So who do you think should play at striker? Lalu Pato, what's going on? Elanga says Ezio Auditor. Elanga as a striker says must play. Rashi up top says Aney Evans. Interesting shout, Burberry says Charlie McNeil as well. Yeah, give a youth player an opportunity. Possible, Vutinator says we've got 138 likes. Thank you, everyone, for hitting that like button. We've got 252 people watching and 138 likes. That's good, but it's not great. Let's get a cheeky little like spike. Hit the thumbs up if you're just joining us halfway through this preview. Going to have a big Q&A at the end, so stick around. But hit the likes button, guys. It's free and it helps the channel out. Give us a boost up there on the algorithm. Nice one. Okay, yes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, says Kelvin Currens. Yeah, Rashford striker says United forever. Palistri, Rashford and Sancho, says Linnet Giggs. Palistri, we need to see more of Palistri, don't we? That's a good shout. Bruno's a substitute player, says Mohamed Chiari. I disagree. I do think he's been sensational for us over the course of the 3 seasons, largely. But in the last game, he was a joke, man. Tom Heaton in. You could see that, Orlando Arellano. But listen, this is the round of 16 of the Europa League. This isn't some League Cup 4th round where you want to rotate the squad largely. We are going to see some changes tonight, I think. We've got a big game in the Premier League coming up, which we need to respond from the last fixture with and have a good result and positive performance. But I don't think we're going to see like wholesale changes here. We will see a few, but I don't think we're going to see like 7 or 8 changes and we're going to see Heaton come in for De Gea or anything like that, to be fair. But I could be wrong, you never know. Interesting, TJ says Pig, Rashford and Palistri right wing and Garnacho left wing. Yeah, love that. Bin Berber says we don't have a proper striker. We have too many striker-winger hybrids. That's the problem. So if we do go out in the summer and get like a boss striker who can score, 20-plus goals a season, most of our problems are solved. We just need to get another quality midfielder as well, really. Like there's 2 big glaring problems in our team. The midfield depth, and we've got no striker. That is the biggest problems. Yeah, we'd like to sign 2 or 3 other players for the squad as well and improve upon certain areas. But we definitely need to get a boss midfielder in the summer. We definitely need to get a proven goal scorer in the summer. That is facts. Sancho isn't ready, says must play. Sancho's never really quite hit the levels we were hoping for just yet. But he is young. Hopefully he does progress and start to develop properly under Erik ten Hag. But yeah, we can't really deny that he's been overall a little bit disappointing since he's been signed for us. Please don't start Malacia, says Ryan. Man, interesting. Well, he may well go with Luke Shaw again. Luke Shaw seemed to be having his mind on opening his next tin of Frey Benny because he just wasn't interested in, he just didn't have a good performance last time out. I think he's worthy of being dropped for that performance, in all fairness. Hey there, what's going on, Sidon? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for getting in. Palistri as 10 says must play. Sancho in the 10's an interesting idea, TDH. Yeah, you never know. You never know. So thank you very much for getting your thoughts and opinions in there about the squad lineup there, guys. That's what I've gone with. This is not the team that I want to see, by the way, just to reiterate. This is the team that I think Ten Hag will put out based on recent performances, based on having to rotate a few positions, and obviously a couple of injuries, and who's available, and who deserves to play, and that kind of thing. So we may well see total differences to this. Varane, some people are coming in here looking at that back line going, Martinez and Maguire, have you been smoking crack? But the reason I've gone with that, just for anybody who's just getting in, is because Varane is the type of player I think he needs to be more or less 100% to, fitness-wise to really perform. Last game, he wasn't 100%. He looked a bit poor. I would give him a little break and make sure he's ready for the weekend game at the Premier League. Maguire is, of course, a liability at the back. His slowness, his pace just causes you problems. His positioning is in question. He hasn't played a lot of football recently. Maybe Lindelof will come in and partner Martinez. I don't know. But just got a hunch feeling that we're not going to see Rafael Varane tonight. And I think we probably should rest him just to make sure he's 100% for the next game. This game against Real Betis is tough, though. Let's not downplay this. Like I say, it's not a League Cup fourth round game. They are a good team. They're fifth in La Liga. Let's get on to the form guide real quick and just see what's going on. I mean, their team is decent as well in terms of a predicted lineup for them. Don't know too much about like La Liga and what they're really doing and what Manuel Pellegrini's doing. But a predicted lineup that I've seen online: Bravo, Sabali, Felipe, Pizzella, Miranda, Carvalho, Rodriguez, Canales, Rodri, Perez and Iglesias. They do have a few players out, such as Juan Cruz. Also, Nabil Fekir is probably one of their best players. And for him to be out, he's doubtful. He's out, basically. He's got a knee problem. He's not doubtful, should I say. He's out. So he is a big loss for them, which is good for us because he is a good player, Nabil Fekir, and that is very much a good player to have out against us anyway. So just, who knows what the fuck Manuel Pellegrini is up to, but we know all about him. He is a good coach. He does resemble Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Let's drive that wooden stake through the heart, my son, tonight. Come on, United! That's what we need, a big performance, a big reaction after that Liverpool embarrassment, man. And mash up an old adversary, an old foe. That's what we need to do. Drive that stake through the heart of Dracula, my son. Anyway, form guide-wise, come on United. Let's get a hashtag come on United in there. Form guide-wise, Man United have dropped off lately. We were very impressive in terms of the Premier League form guide. That's what we're looking at, really. Obviously, everybody's been doing well in the Europa League to get to this point. So there's not really much point of sort of over-analysing any of the performances in the Europa League, if you ask me. But let's look at our domestic form. Man United, 8th in the form guide in the Premier League. We've slipped down. Obviously, we're still 3rd in the league, but in terms of the form guide, we are 8th now. So we lost to Arsenal 3-2. We beat Crystal Palace 2-1. We've lost 7-0 to Liverpool. There's a 3-0 win over Leicester. 2-0 to Leeds, the 2-2 draw against Leeds. It's not been perfect the last 6 games from Manchester United's point of view. And that big one against Liverpool was disgusting. The 2 good teams we've come up against, we've lost to in Arsenal and Liverpool in the last 6 games. We beat Leicester, we beat Leeds, we drew with Leeds, we beat Palace. It's not that impressive a form, really, when you analyse it like that. We're 8th in the form guide of the league. So that's a little bit concerning. We have had a drop-off, guys. We have had a drop-off. Need a reaction tonight. Need to respond. But Real Betis, on the other hand, they are a dangerous team at the moment. This is why I was saying that the prediction for the game tonight for me is 2-1 to United. A tight win. Because I think they are a good side. They are a good football inside, a good pass inside. And also, Spanish teams seem to be just bogey teams for us over the last few seasons. They really are. We seem to get dumped out by Spanish teams quite a lot. And they're good technical teams. They always are. You look at the type of style of play that they play over in La Liga. It's not as physical as the Premier League. It is more possession, passing based type football. So Real Betis will cause us some issues. I think they'll be good on the ball. They'll move it well. And they will probably cause us some issues. Their form, though, let's have a little look going into the last 6 games for them in the league. So they're 5th in the league, by the way. They are challenging for Champions League spots. That goes to show you the sort of team they are this season in a quite a top-heavy league. It's only really Atletico, Barca and Real that you really should take seriously these days, or most days in La Liga, to be fair. But they are challenging near the top of the league to get into those top spots. Celta Vigo ahead of them, I think. But other than that, they are doing well. They're in 5th place and they're 5th in the form guide. If you look at their results and fixtures recently as well, even the results they've lost or drawn, they're kind of understandable. So the last 6 games in La Liga, they've lost 2-1 to Barcelona, which, let's face it, they're not really expected to get that job done, are they, against them? They did lose 4-3 to Celta Vigo, who, as I say, they're fourth in the form guide. So they're having a good season too. So they're a good team. So they lost to Barca, who are top and have barely conceded any goals this season. They've lost to Celta Vigo, who are having a very good season in La Liga. They beat Almeria. They beat Real Valladolid. They beat Elche, and they've also drawn in the last game. They drew with Real Madrid. So, that goes to show you the last sort of 6 games that they're obviously no mugs. They're actually a decent outfit. Even the 2 games that they lost, they've only lost those games narrowly, 2-1 and 4-3, to very good teams in their league. And the other games, they've done well. So they're not going to be an easy team to beat, I don't think. Manuel Pellegrini is a good coach. They have got some good players. They are a dangerous technical side. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. But just because United is United, and we're at home at Old Trafford, and we lost to Liverpool like we did, we're going to see a reaction. We're going to see a full-blooded, committed performance, I think, from United tonight. And I think we'll get the win. Let's get your predictions in there again for everybody who's just joining the stream. But I'm going 2-1 to Manchester United, with my goal scorers being Marcus Rashford. And I've got a feeling that Bruno Fernandez is going to get on the score sheet tonight as well. Just to maybe prove a point. Let's see what you guys are saying, though. Get your predictions in there. Yes, Nabil Fekir is still at Real Betis, Lali Pato, but he's got a knee injury at the moment, and he is very much doubtful. He's not going to play, basically. He's not playing. No, he's not fit to play. Sidon thinks 3-1 to United. The Fortress is going 4-1. Manib Sadiqi's going 3-0. Zayn Miyasi, how you doing? Thanks for the super chat, boss. Oh, Zayn Miyasi, lad. Oh, come on, Sporting. Come on, Sporting. Let's go. I really, really hope you get drubbed up, Zayn Miyasi, lad. Zayn Miyasi, here we go. He says, and are we having another piggy meltdown ready for the Arsenal masterpiece? Jesus is back. Get ready. No, I don't think so, Zayn. I think you're going to see a big positive reaction and a turnaround from the last game. We are going to smash up. Well, not smash up because they're a good team, but we're going to beat them handedly, I think, in the end. That's my prediction. In terms of Arsenal Sporting, I couldn't really give a toss. I just really hope the Sporting drub you up, mate. Drub you up. Thank you for that. Sorry I missed the super chat there, guys. Nice one. Thank you, Zamiasi, for that. 4-1 says the Fortress. 3-0 says Money. 2-1 says K Cadet. Not a good scoreline at all. Piggy says the K Cadet. Why is that then, K Cadet? A win's a win, isn't it? I know what you're saying, though. It's a 2-legged tie. You've got to go into their backyard in Spain next time round, and you want to have a bit of a better lead. So, yeah, but you know what? It's a tough game. They're a decent team. As I've just mentioned, the form that they're in Spain is good. They've given good accounts of themselves, even in the games that they've lost against the top teams, and they've drawn with Real Madrid last time. They're no mugs at all. This is not an easy game at all. This is like playing, a top 6, top 7 side in the Premier League right now. It's a tough fixture, honestly. Plus, they are just a good technical passing side. So I think any win on the night, based on the last result we had against Liverpool, would be a good win. But of course, we want to win 3-0 or something, like Dave Perry says, and take a good lead going into the next fixture. But I'm just trying to be a realist here. I'm thinking that they're tough opposition here. 2-1 says Ulf793, how you doing, boss? 2-2 says must play. Thank you, everyone, for getting your predictions in there. Love it. Thank you. Most high overall, how you doing, bud? Ika Marine says 3-2 to the Red Devils. Like your style there, bud. Okay, so that's the form of the two sides. Man United lacking a little bit in our own domestic league. We're 8th in the form guide. They are 5th in their own form guide and 5th in La Liga. And as I mentioned, they're doing pretty well. And they've got a good coach. And I think it'll be a tough fixture. But any win tonight would be good. But of course, yeah, like Kikanet says, we want to win with a decent margin so we can just go to the away fixture and make it a much easier tie. We don't want to be having to go with a 1-goal lead to their backyard. That's very, very true. I like your style. Okay, so yes, Rashford is looking for redemption. Of course, he knows that the performance of last time was just an absolute embarrassment. He says it's obviously going to be a massive challenge. We expect them to be like most Spanish teams, to be comfortable on the ball, comfortable in possession. He says they're going to bring the game to us, and they have been in form at the moment in La Liga. It's going to be hopefully an exciting game, but we need to do our best to put ourselves in a good position for the tie. So, if we do need to have a reaction. He says, like I said to you, your next opportunity to also almost redeem yourself as an individual and as a team is the next game, he added. He said, for me, whenever we do lose a game, you just want to be back out on the pitch as quickly as possible. We have to be grateful that we get the opportunity to redeem ourselves, and we have to try and take it with both hands. And that's the key, really. So if United don't win tonight, all the doubt is going to creep in. All the opposition scummers are going to come out. All the rivals, you know, they're going to be putting the boot in even more after that loss to Liverpool. Like, there's no two bones about it. We must win tonight. Any win's a good result, but of course we want to win by a decent margin, but any win's a good result. It's about getting that previous result off your back. It's about moving on as a team and showing what you're made of. And it's no good if we don't get a result tonight. Like, that's it. All the doubt will creep in. Before you know it, confidence is shot. It's not good. Ten Hag's got to try and get this dub tonight, absolutely. So Rashford underlines the importance of us needing a reaction against these scumbags. He's also back to Bruno Fernandez and said that he loves playing with him. And he's also said that any loss to Liverpool is a disgusting feeling. Whether it's 1-0, 7-0, we just have to put this behind us. So Rashford is the informed player for Manchester United this season. He's the one to make things happen and win the games. I feel like he will score tonight. I'll ask the chat, how many goals does Marcus Rashford get for Manchester United this evening at Old Trafford? He's been in scintillating form in general at Old Trafford. He loves scoring in front of the fans. He loves playing at Old Trafford this season. He scored an absolute fucking huge amount of goals. So how many does he get? 4 says Fire Out There. 2 says Mark Nurse. TJ says 2. Andy says 2 OGs. John Boy says 1. 1 says Counter Debate. 1 says Ezio Auditore. 2 for Rashford says Sidon. Gungshi's going for 2. Berber's going for 1. Lynette's going for 4. Simon Almeida, big win tonight. 2 for Rashford. Thank you, Simon. 4 says Duncan. 1 says Primot and Lado. 2 says Wayne. So everybody thinks he's going to notch anyway. Everybody thinks he's going to notch. I like it, guys. I like your style. Thank you very, very much for your predictions. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. I mean, the predicted lineup. I'll get it. I'll put it over here so we can see the chat a little bit better. There's the predicted lineup. Thank you, everyone, for getting in with your predictions and stuff. Let's get into the live chat now. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A. So predictions-wise, it's looking like most people feel we will win. I think we will see a reaction. But let's get into the live chat and see what you guys are saying about anything. You know, let's get your thoughts and opinions about Bruno or, you know, anything. Let's have a chat now, guys. It's Q&A time. Thank you for all joining us. Once again, smash that like button on this video. How many are we on? Let's see if we've got 200 likes yet. Drop the thumbs up if you just joined us. We're on 162. Hit the thumbs up. Help us get to 200 by the end of the show. Also, if you're new to this channel, then please do hit the subscribe button. We're on here daily with all the latest United news in a no bullshit, no clickbait, no guff way. So get yourself involved if you are new by smashing that subscribe button. Click the little bell icon as well for notifications so you don't miss anything. Of course, we're going to be back on. Mate, Hamza Amir, thank you for subscribing, bro. Great timing. Hit the subscribe button like Hamza if you guys are new. And yeah, make sure you stick around for the game later. We're going to be on half an hour before kickoff. And we're going to be watching the game. So come and join us for that as well and hang out. Tom, what's going on? Says, have we had an apology from Gary Neville yet for his comments on Bruno? Says Tom. No, I absolutely don't think so. What's that all about then, Tom? Reiterate for me what he said. So Lynette Giggs says, Bruno remains my captain, says Lynette Giggs. I can respect that. I mean, I think that we don't need to be knee-jerk for one half of football. It's a big worry, his level of, you know, mentality drop, if you want to call it that, which... it's a bit of a strange way of putting it, but you know what I mean? The way his mentality seemed to just drop off in that second half of being a battler and a passionate player. Once we were 4-0 down against the scum and he wasn't maybe happy about playing on that left-hand side, his head's wet. His head's completely gone. That's a big worry, but I don't think we need to worry too much about him. He's a full-blooded, committed player up until that second half against Liverpool anyway. TJ, what's going on, TJ? He says, would you rather Martinez from Milan or Kane? Okay, so you're talking about Lautaro Martinez, right? I mean, to be fair, right, this might surprise a few people, but I would prefer Harry Kane because I think, well, if what you need in the Premier League is goals, he's a Premier League proven goal scorer, and he's doing it for shitty spuds. By the way, any Spurs twats in here? Get in there, my son. You know, and knock down the Champions League. But yeah, you know, look, he's a proven goal scorer. He deserves better than Spurs. If he's going to win anything, he's probably got a good opportunity to do so at Manchester United. Do I want him number one? No, as I said previously, he's a good option for us if the price is right. We don't want to be paying 70, 80, 90, 100 million for the guy, though. But if he's available for 60 million, you can get him on a 3 or 4 year contract, you know, so you're not got him when he's 35 plus or anything ridiculous. You've just got him for the remaining best years of his career, and then it's bye Harry. I would take Harry Kane at the club because he's the sort of guy that's proven to get you 20 plus goals a season, and he's doing it for a shit mashed potato team. So, he could definitely do it for Manchester United. Plus, what I like about Harry Kane is people don't give him enough credit as actually being a really good footballer. He's not actually even just about the goals. Harry Kane's the type of guy, he's got great vision, he's got great passing, he holds it up well, and he can score goals. But he's actually, I was talking about Anthony having one facet, one side. Harry Kane's got multiple facets to his game. He's not just a goal scorer. He's not quick, he's not overly physical, but I tell you what, he is a very intelligent footballer. His vision's very good, his passing's very good, his goal scoring's very good. He's a good all-round player. The only concerns with him is his price tag, and also he is injury prone. That's a big concern. Can you really rely on him throughout the whole season? But let's ask the chat, do you want Harry Kane at Manchester United? Yes or no? I would take him, absolutely, but I would prefer us to go and get somebody maybe younger, maybe somebody who's got more pace, maybe somebody who's a bit more robust, who's not as injury prone, like Victor Osimhen or Kylian Mbappe or somebody like that. But those are really wishful thinking signings. No, says Ezio. No, says Duncan Blefo. Tom, I don't have a business-only email, but you can message me on Twitter or Instagram, lad. No, says Money Siddiqui. Super Fat Frank says no. Absolutely yes, says Tactics Gaming. Yes, says Viking Red. How you doing, Viking? Hope you and Junior are good. No, United need Osimhen, says Lalu Pato. Well, in an ideal world, but, we don't live in an ideal world. Yes, says Pinhead. No, Harry Kane's too old. No longevity with Kane, says Kate Cadet. They said the same about Casemiro, though. Sometimes, that's what annoys me sometimes is that, people think about 3 years from now or 5 years from now. What about now? What about right now? Harry Kane is good enough now to bang you 20 goals a season. What about for the next 2 seasons? I'd like to get a quick fix in some ways. Casemiro is an older player. He's 30, 31 now. People were saying that. Oh, you've paid 70 million for Casemiro, who's 31. Good one. He's going to be shit. The best days are over him. He's over the hill and far away. These people couldn't be more wrong. This guy has come in and transformed our team. Yeah, sure, he's not going to be here in 7 years' time, but for the next few seasons, I feel fucking great that we've got Casemiro in the team, plugging the hole that we had the problem area. He's exactly what we needed. And Kane is kind of exactly what we need, really. Just somebody who's proven to score goals in the Premier League. Kane would last us 3 years easy, says OHB. Precisely. Viking Red says top man. Mbappe says stay gold. Well, yes, I would rather Mbappe, but is that realistic? Maybe if we get Qatari owners, you could see that happen. But otherwise, I don't think we do get Mbappe. Modric for 2 seasons. Well, there you go, Tactics. He might be 37, but he's still bloody good enough. Kane has 2 seasons left. Max says counter debate. Yep, but, if you can get your 20-plus goals for those 2 seasons in the league, happy days. Cass is a boss in Man United's midfield, says the big guy. Kane's premiership proven, says Iceman. That's important, isn't it? You could go and get somebody from Serie A or the Bundes or wherever, but let's face it, Serie A is not what it was. If you can score 25 goals a season in Serie A, does that really translate over to being able to do the same in the Premier League? I mean, it doesn't. Maybe it's not about that. It just depends on the player. Like Erling Haaland, for instance, everyone was saying, oh, he's not going to be able to continue that level of goal scoring in the Premier League. It's much tougher. Well, he's basically proven everybody wrong, hasn't he, by scoring the amount of goals that he has already. So it does work both ways, but it doesn't. I'd rather have a Premier League proven player who's proven to score 20-plus goals a season in the Prem than somebody who's doing it in Serie A. In a lot of ways, I would prefer that. Kane will sell jerseys, says Superfat Frank. Sheikh bin Berber says we have 2 shopping lists. One if the Glazers stay, the others if Qatar comes in. I think Kane is a Glazer signing. That's a fair point as well. Thank you, Berber. He says like, share, and subscribe. Indeed, do as he says. Pig, I'd sell Rashford to even our rivals, even if it meant getting Mbappe, says Andy Young. You would sell Rashford to our rivals if it meant getting Mbappe. Well, Andy Young, I mean, you clearly are a complete fool. I'm just kidding, Andy Young. You would sell Rashford to a rival if it meant getting Mbappe. Do you know what? Kylian Mbappe can fuck himself, mate. I would much rather keep Rashford, who is Manc born and bred, who we've developed, who is a Manchester United player, than go and get some prima donna melter, to be honest with you, bud. Mbappe's one of the best players in the world. But that's an insane statement you just made, Andy Young. It's just absolutely ridiculous, bud. What an absolute atrocity of a comment. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. Zayn Miasi, thank you for the super chat, bud. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He says, please buy Kane. Our Polish Cannavaro is playing tonight. Polish Cannavaro. Fucking hell, Zayn Miasi. He says, please buy Kane. So, but why is that, Zayn Miasi? Do you not rate Kane? Surely, even as an Arsenal fan, you understand that Harry Kane is a top player. So he has his faults. He's getting on a bit now. He's a proven perennial loser in terms of not winning trophies or anything. But that's it because he plays for Spurs. But you can't deny he's a proven goal scorer, Zayn Miasi. I mean, that's just a bit of a silly comment, isn't it? Please get Kane. If we get Kane, we'll be a much better team because he can actually score goals and he's Premier League proven. So, you know, careful what you wish for there, Zayn Miasi. Because if we do get Kane, he'll probably be the type of guy to score a bloody hat-trick at your gash fucking Emirates Stadium next season, bud. Zayn Miasi with another one. He says, Saka is better than Mbappe now. And he plays in a pub league, says Zayn Miasi. Fucking hell, bud. What a stupid, stupid man. You know what I mean? Are you serious? Saka's better than Mbappe now. Pull the other one, bud. Just because he plays in a Farmers League, which he does. I mean, look at PSG in the Champions League last night. Bottle merchants as well. Absolute bottle merchants. But that's stupid. Just because Messi plays in a Farmers League as well, doesn't mean he's not still a fantastic player. Look at him in the World Cup just a couple of months ago, bud. You know, it's a ridiculous statement. I agree their league is not very good. But those couple of players, or those few players, Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, they walk into any team in the world, bud. They would still walk into any team in the world, including shithole Arsenal, bud. Definitely. Saka better than Mbappe. You are having an absolute bloody crack pipe session. Oh my God. Party's better than Casemiro, says Alex Walker. There's a reason it's called Arsenal, says Richard. Hey, Andrew Edmonds says, hey, Pig, loving the early stream. For the difference in price tag, Eric, when compared to Osimhen, you know who's better value. Oh, there you go. Exactly, Andrew Edmonds. So Osimhen's going to cost like 100 mil. They're both, I don't know, it depends. They're all expensive players. I don't think United should cheap out in the summer for our striker, though. I actually think that Kane's value is much less than the other two players we've just mentioned. So in an ideal world, if we've got Qatari owners, we go and have the ambition and we sign Mbappe. But Mbappe could cost you 200 million, literally. He has that sort of profile. If Neymar's going from Barca to PSG for 194 million, crikey, you know, Mbappe's going to set the world record for transfer fee, probably. So are you prepared to spend? If we've got Qatari owners, I could probably see that happening. Plus, he's going to be paid astronomical figures in wages, world record wages as well. Got to factor that in. Unless we do get Qatari owners, we're not going to get Kylian Mbappe. We're not going to get him. But the other guys we mentioned, Osimhen's still a huge amount of money. And Kane is the lesser of all of those three players we've just mentioned. He's also less money for a reason. He's injury prone, he's older, he's not got as many years left in his career. He's only good for 2 or 3 seasons, really. But if the price is right, if he just outright says and outright has that conversation behind the scenes with Tottenham and says, I do not want to be a Tottenham player anymore, which he's done previously and they've made him stay. But if he really sticks to his guns this time, they've got no other option but to sell him for £60 million. And that is a huge amount to pay for somebody who's a bit injury prone, but he is guaranteed to get you goals for a few seasons. Let's ask the live chat. How much do you think Harry Kane is worth now in today's climate, bearing in mind his age, bearing in mind the state Spurs are in, etc.? I think he's 60 million tops. I don't see, maybe 70, 60 or 70 million. You can't ask for more than that for Harry Kane these days. You're just going to have a one-to-way player on your hands who doesn't want to be there for the next few seasons. It doesn't make sense. You've got to get rid of him and cash in for 60 or 70. Iceman says 60, Tom says 60, Craw says 40 to 50, Alex says 80, Wayne Shevlin agrees 60 to 70, Rajat says 30-year-old, Sabiel says 50 to 60, 90 says Shrek, 70 says counter debate, 80 million English tax. Yeah, but look at Casemiro. So Casemiro was 30 when we got him. He's 31 now. We paid 70 mil for him, but it's good value. For the next 3 seasons, we've got an absolute world-class CDM. Kane is a world-class forward, he is. So it could be the same sort of situation. You get what you pay for. Thank you very much, Harshit. Mudgal says your background looks nice, mate. Thank you, Harshit. Appreciate you, broski. Yeah, Tactics says who we get depends upon the takeover. Absolutely. So Berber said it earlier on. We've got a couple of different shopping lists. One if we get Qatar owners, another if we get Sir Jim Ratcliffe or somebody else, and another one again if we stick with the shithouse Glazers. So we do have a few different shopping lists, like Berber said. Mbappe has 12 World Cup goals. Zayn already said, yeah, exactly. He's won the World Cup. He's obviously a ridiculously talented player. All you have to do is watch Mbappe to know that he's got just ridiculous skills and pace and everything. He is a fantastic player. Zayn Miassi with a super chat says, Henry is better than Mbappe. Henry had the skill also, just not the speed. Henry was fast as fuck, mate. Okay, Mbappe's like next level. He's almost a 100-metre sprinter. But you trying to say Thierry Henry was slow? Are you actually an Arsenal fan, Zayn Miassi, or what? Thierry Henry was quick as fuck. Fair enough, Zayn. I mean, I don't understand what you're on about there. Why are we even talking about Thierry Henry, comparing him to this generation of players? That's just mental. Why are we doing that? Why don't we just go back and talk about how Roy Keane used to make Patrick Vieira cry on the regular, bud? You know, like that's all in the past. Actually, lad, here's this man. A minute ago he was saying Saka's better than Mbappe, which is obviously bullshit. And now we've just told him and we've explained to him the reasons why Saka is definitely nowhere near as good as Mbappe. Now he's pulling out old people. Now he's going back to Thierry Henry, bud. Now what's that all about, actually, lad? You're fucking mental, dude. Come on. Oh my God. And he sent another one. It says 70 million for Kane plus another 10 million for a translator. Good one, good one. My name's Kane, mate. I just want to play football, Manchester United, try and win some games and win some trophies. Yeah, fair enough, Zayn. That's a good one. That's a good one. God almighty, Zayn, put the pipe down. He sent another super chat here. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get some hashtag delusionals in the live chat for him. Thank you, Zayn. He comments, I meant Henry had the speed also. Really? Is that what you meant, Zayn? Because it didn't sound like it when you said it. This is your previous super chat. Henry is better than Mbappe. Henry had the skill also, not just the speed. Oh, shit, I've actually read... Do you know what? I actually misread it. Oh, shit. Sorry, Zayn. I actually misread it the first time around. My bad. He's absolutely right. He did mean that Thierry Henry was fast as fuck as well. I've actually just had a mare there, Zayn. I'm sorry, but I reread your super chat and now it makes sense. I apologise. But still, you're delusional. You know? Crikey. No, I've had a mare there. I have had a mare there. Right, anyway. Right, okay, come on, let's read a few more comments out here. It's not all about the Zayn Miassi show, is it? Do you know what I mean? Nobody cares, Zayn, to be fair. Andy says, Pig, I prefer Michael Kane over Harry Kane. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. On the Head Football Live, how you going? He says, Casemiro's a one-off, but look at Matic. Bought at a bad age and didn't get good value. So, Matic, I mean, look, Matic was decent for Man United, I'll be honest. He was actually decent for us. He was slow, he was older. Matic wasn't terrible for us. I would take a Nemanja Matic signing for the money and the age and everything over, say, a Paul Pogba signing any day of the week. You know, so Matic gets kind of done a bit dirty, doesn't he? I think he was okay. I don't think he was bad at all. I'd sooner have Nemanja Matic in the team than McTominay or Fred, to be fair. You know, he was older. He was, you know, over the hill. His best days were beyond him. When he was at Chelsea, he was no doubt world class. But, you know, why are we talking about Nemanja Matic? That's true, Burberry says Matic would have been a good player if he came with legs. So a few years before we got him, he was absolutely fantastic. But he was older by then. He wasn't as good. But, like, Kane and Matic and those sorts of players, they're not all about the pace. Like I was talking about Harry Kane earlier on. He's never been about the pace. He's always been slow. He's always been about his positioning, his intelligence in the box, his movement, his finishing, and his passing and his vision and stuff like that. That's what makes Kane a good forward player, not his pace. So I'm not too worried about Kane's age. He's only 30. Is he even 30? I think he's 29 or 30. He's definitely got a few years at the top left, and he can bang you some goals. Pogba only cares about jewellery and clout, says Primart. Mate, so glad we don't have Pogba anymore. I am doing a watch-along, Rajat B. Absolutely, lad. Absolutely. Gregory Burke, what's going on? Darn typos. Sorry if I'm missing anyone's comments here, but it's all going off. A lot of legends getting in with a lot of comments in here. Thanks for joining. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, if you haven't done so. Drop a cheeky little like on this stream. It helps the channel out. And as I say, if you are new to this channel and you want to chat, you do have to be subscribed to chat in this community, but you only need to be subscribed for 0 seconds. So hit the subscribe, then you'll be able to chat and have your say. If you're new, get yourself involved and say hello. We are doing a watch along later to answer your question. I'll put it in the live chat. Here it is. There's the watch along link. So if you guys want to come and join us for the game later, we're starting about half an hour before kickoff. So come and join us about 7:30. I'll pin it to the top of the live chat, by the way, so everyone can see that. And if you want to go over there at the end of this stream and go and smash a like on it before the game, that'll help us out as well. G Wolf, how you doing, you legend? I hope you're doing good, bud. Get in there, my son. Oh, how you doing, Wolfster? Shrek the Deck thinks 4-1 to Sporting against Arsenal. Come on, Sporting. Grace Sheridan comments, would you sign more of a creative forward rather than a box striker since our wingers don't cross the ball? Well, maybe, Grace. I mean, that's why I think Harry Kane would actually be a very, very good option for us. I don't know if we need a creative forward, but Harry Kane is a creative forward. Like, he gets assists. He's got passing ability. He's got vision. So that's what I like about Harry Kane, is he's not just a one-dimensional striker. He is a multifaceted striker who can score and create. That separates him from some of the players. But of course, I'd want Kane and Mbappe who can do both as well. But yeah, I mean, Kane is the sort of player who can create and score. Victor Osimhen's the best as Irfan Kadidi. Great shout. Gregory Burke, why is Maguire playing today? Well, he's not necessarily playing today. It's just that I believe that he will start today because of the fact that Varane didn't look 100% in the last game. Probably should be rested because, well, he's the type of guy that can't play 2 games a week. He's injury prone, and he wasn't 100% in the last game against Liverpool. That's why he put in a 1 out of 10 performance. We know Varane's a world-class centre-back. I just feel like maybe he will play tonight, but I just feel like Ten Hag will rest him for the game at the weekend. Thank you, Adrian Morris. Says, you're an honorary mank in my eyes, Piggy. Well, thank you, Adrian Morris. I appreciate that, dude. Nice one. Big T says, we need 2 strikers. We currently have none. Rashford wants to play on the left. Well, Rashford wants to play on the left, and his best position is on the left. So I've got no problem with Rashford wanting to be a left winger. That's his best position. We need somebody to go and play striker who's going to score loads of goals, and Rashford can continue doing what he's doing on the left-hand side. Yes, definitely Chisembe and Bampo. It was a very embarrassing game. Hopefully we have a response. Wayne, what's going on, says, I think he'll pick the same team. I think he'll only make a few changes, but I don't think he'll go with exactly the same team. I mean, you never know. I mean, but we've got a Premier League game coming up at the weekend as well, only a few days from now. We have to rotate a little bit. This is why Man United has struggled, and that's why we probably had such a bad game against Liverpool. It's not just the fact that we got totally outclassed in the second half. There's reasons for it. We've kind of spent force lately. He's had to play more or less the same team for a long time. He knows his best 11, and that's great, but you need depth behind that 11 in order to sort of mount a serious challenge in all games, in all different competitions. Remember, we're battling on all fronts still. We're in the Europa, in the FA Cup. We were in the League Cup till we won it. And we were in the title challenge until that game against Liverpool, really. So we were battling on all fronts. It's difficult to have the same players play week in, week out when other teams have the luxury of being able to rotate and bring in other quality players. We don't have any depth in the midfield whatsoever. We are struggling in certain areas. Once we've added 1 or 2 really good players in certain areas in the summer, we will have depth. Like Man City. Precisely, yeah, Man City, they've got basically 2 teams that they can call upon. They've got their starting 11, and in all fairness, Man City's second 11, if you want to just choose a totally different team, it's still good enough to finish in the top 4. You know, their second 11. You can't say the same about Man United. Man United's second 11, if you just played our second choice team every single week, i.e. Maguire and Lindelof in the centre-back positions, you know, McTominay and Fred in the middle of the park. If you just played our second string team, we'd finish mid-table at best. That's the difference between the 2 sort of sides there in Manchester, is they've got depth and we don't. Our starting 11 is very good now. If everyone's fit, if Eriksen's fit, if Casemiro's fit, if Varane's fit, Martina, if everybody's fit, we've got a very good starting 11, but we do not have the depth. Nice OHB, Sabitzer SBC, love it. Let's look for that. Look forward to that. Rotation's a good thing, says Night Whisper. We have to rotate. Bruno False 9 maybe, says Grace Sheridan. We've seen that a couple of times. I'm not crazy about it. I like to see Bruno Fernandez in his best position, and I don't think Bruno necessarily likes being this utility player. We've heard Scholes' comments after the last game saying he feels a bit sorry for him. Scholes can relate. He was a player that, not for Man United really, but he would do a job all over the place. And certainly for England, he was played out of position. And it is a bit frustrating. It's not his natural position to be playing left or on the right. He should be played in his natural position, I think. That would be good, Irfan Kadili. If you could take 2 players to United, who would they be, says Wayne Shevlin. So in a dream world, Kylian Mbappe and Jude Bellingham. Those are the 2 players I would bring in. That way we've got the midfield quality and depth overnight. And that way we've got a beast goal scorer who just ravages opposition defences. That's what we need. Our bench is championship standard. Yeah, there you go, Berber. It's definitely it's definitely subpar. Kane has experience. If we buy him, we need a young striker to work alongside him, says Kelvin Currens. Thank you, Ben Dawson. You're looking well picked. Thank you, Ben. RJ says, big up everyone. Big up yourself there, RJ. We need to sign Frankie de Jong. Yeah, I mean, it's a no from me, Carol. I'm not too interested in Frankie de Jong. If Ten Hag wants him, which he clearly did previously, he's got those Dutch vibes. He's a very good technical player. He's actually a quality player. But you know what? I want players who are desperate to play for Manchester United, to be fair. Not players who just hang about for money at Barca or whatever. He's always said that he loves Barca, he wants to stay there. I want a player who wants to play for us. Kane has no heart, says Gregory Burke. Bruno works so hard he gets played in positions what aren't his because the manager trusts him. Yeah, that's right. He's the sort of player that's being used because he's good most places, but he should be played in his natural position. Kate says the difference with Kane and Bruno is that Bruno starts deep and drifts in, whereas Kane drops to receive, so in between. I don't know how it would affect these runs moving forward, says the Kate Cadet. I like the fact that Kane's versatile and can drop deep and can hold it up and can, even if you get Kane when he takes it wide, he gets a good cross in. He's a good player. Come on, Kate Cadet. Stop doing the horse face dirty, lad. Do you think we'll get Qatar, Piggy? I don't know, RJ. Probably it's most likely because the Glazers just want as much money as they can get and they'll probably pay more than anybody else. Andy says, Pig, it's odd. Anthony usually is very good at tracking back. Why did he not bother? I don't know. I know. It's very worrying, wasn't it? Pinhead says, we should sign Almiron. You what? To be fair to Almiron, he has had a very good season, but how about no? We need to aim higher than that, bud. We need to aim higher than that. If I could pick any player from our 99 treble team to put in this team, Piggy, who would you pick? It's between 2 players, really, Adrian Morris. The likes of Scholes. I think Scholes would probably be perfect now to play alongside Casemiro. I'd go Scholes. I would go Scholes. Roy Keane would be, I was thinking Roy Keane would be a good one as well, but we've got Casemiro, so we need Scholes. If we had a Scholes type player, we would be fucking sorted, man. We would be absolutely sorted. Andy Cole says Gungshi. Interesting. Yeah, well, there you go. And a striker is another player that we need as well. Striker's another player we need. Great shout, Gungshi. Have you recovered? Not really, RJ. I've just been trying to annoy it. Royston Maurice Keane says Bim Berber. Yeah, St. Max's uses. Anyway, right, guys. So that's going to have to be the end of the preview now. We've been on here for nearly as long as a whole game. But we're 1 like away from 200 likes, guys. So hit that thumbs up button and let's get 200. We're 1 away. Who is going to be number 200? Let's have a little late night like spike. Hit the thumbs up button if you are just getting in here. If you haven't smashed the like, please do that before you go. And also subscribe to this channel if you're new. We will be back on at 7:30 tonight, just in a couple of hours' time for the game. We'll be watching the game. So come and join us for the watch along against Real Betis tonight. 8 p.m. kickoff. 7:30 we'll start. Thank you, John Boy Cat. It was a great chat. Thank you, Gungshi. It's a great show as always. Been looking forward to the watch along. Thank you, legend Don Gungshi. Great to see you, my friend. Raw Dog, that like button, says OHB. Thank you, OHB. 0793. Yeah, exactly. We need to see redemption. We need to see a proper response after that 0793, don't we? Yes, and the link pinned at the top as well, guys. Thank you, Berber. Yes, everyone, go over to that link at the top of the live chat. That is the watch along. You can go set a reminder over there. It's pinned to the top. Also, smash the like on the watch along before it starts. Let us see if we can get 50 likes before the watch along starts over on the watch along. Nice one. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shinglai Jr. for liking the video. Thank you, Galaxy Gamers as well. Kelvin Currens, the Vutinator, Wayne Shevlin. Thank you, Wayne Shevlin. Love that. Thank you very much, bro. Hoopman, Vutinator, you legend. Thank you very much indeed to all the moderators in the blue, people like Berber, Vuti, Gungshi, etc., all the legends, and everybody chatting, people like Michael, Harry Faber Wild as well. Thank you, Harry. I'm getting better, mate. Thank you so much, bud. Kelvin Currens, Bucky Badass, Berber, and everybody who's chatted today. Great chat today, folks. Absolutely great chat. My prediction, 2-1 for the game tonight. Come on, United. We need a response after that Liverpool game. Come back after this one has finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section. Predict the lineup. Get your starting 11 in there if you want. Also, get your score predictions in the not live comments after this is finished. Come back and comment with your predictions and your thoughts. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hoopman, Kelvin, Andrikos, Albert, Vuti, Jedi Stew. Great to see you all. Thanks for getting in, guys. That's it from me. Stay classy. Have a good one. Come on, United. United going to smash up Real Betis tonight. We need that reaction from that horrible game against Liverpool, of course, and I feel like we will get the reaction. Only thing is that Real Betis are no mugs. Pellegrini's a good manager. They're doing well in the La Liga, as I've mentioned. Their form and their recent results and performances is a bit of a worry. They're clearly a decent side, and Spanish teams are always tough for us to sort of navigate. You know, they're definitely good footballing sides, and they're a bit of bogey teams for Manchester United, really. So it's not going to be easy, but we need a reaction, and because of that, I think that will take us to victory, guys. Come on, United! See you on the next one. Thank you, Lynette, Raja, and everybody else. Kate Cadet, all the legends of the channel, all the mods, all the members. Thanks for supporting the show. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch at Flying Pig United. Links in description. Also, check out the website, flyingpigunited.com, for your latest news. And thank you for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, click the bell icon, and I'll see you tonight for the watch along. Go over there, click the like on the watch along, and also come back and get your thoughts and opinions in on this video, and we'll see you later on, where we're going to watch the Mighty Red Devils get some redemption. Come on, United! See you later, guys. Thanks for watching, and also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.